down to the littlest of impact. You know, I can tell you that he was very interested in when the Glens spent their summer playing Stratomatic baseball, and in that whole process, because he had invented his own baseball game with spinners and all sorts of other things. So it was a lot of different things, that anything that involves statistics, baseball, athletics, you know, he was really into. So I think when you talk about a lot of those former wrestlers and the impact that they had, that's awesome. Those of you, I'm just curious, how many people had Mr. White? It sounds silly for me saying that. Mr. White as a teacher. I'm just curious. Okay, so there's a few of us here. That's right. You had him in New Sharon, right? I remember that. Yeah, that's probably that bad then too. But a lot of those things that in the classroom you probably heard of stories. I think one of the things that if you went to his class, he was always telling stories about his childhood growing up in Crawfordsville, and we got to relive the kick the can stories. I mean, almost play by play. You know, he told us a story about how they fooled somebody and did a train. You know, just like 8 people come and run in a row. Yeah, we did that, and then we got in trouble for it. I'm like, but Dad, it was your story. He's like, no, there's not. You're not supposed to do that. But that, and also the stories kick the can. There was Crying Kyle. And Mush, who's here. Give us a wave. So there's just, I mean, there's just so many things that you don't realize that you are a part of everybody's life just by the impact that you have on those. I think some of the things that we've had a chance, one of my uncles who did a lot of traveling with my dad, coaching wrestling, and they were big avid hunters as well. They took Dad out pheasant hunting. He couldn't hit anything. You know, it's like when all your brother-in-laws all hunt and you just kind of wear a stocking cap and walk along. That's kind of how that went. So they winged a pheasant once, and so it was the only pheasant of the day, and it was, you know, you get bored after a while. So they tied the pheasant to the fence so my dad could actually shoot a pheasant. So, but he didn't like the idea. He didn't think it was fair. So my uncle started throwing rocks at the pheasant, so it started flapping around at least a little bit before he got a chance to shoot it. So he finally agrees. So they're throwing rocks. The pheasant's making noise, jumping up and down. Dad shoots. Hits the string that was holding the pheasant, and the pheasant flew away, and they came home with no pheasant that day. So every meal at home was full of stories and tales of a lot of you and all of you, and I appreciate the fact that all of you have been here to kind of share a little bit about Dad. And I apologize if I didn't get a chance to introduce myself or I didn't recognize you right off the bat. It's been a long time since I've been here, so and I look a lot different than I did back then. I think it was funny. I was like, most of my pictures up here, I was 98 pounds as a sophomore. I'm like 2.5 of that now, so you'll have to forgive me. But I think one of the things that we got a chance to do, I think a couple of years ago, we got a chance to finally get all the cousins and all the siblings and all the families together and have a great time. And the one thing that'll always stay with me is that, just like that, you know what I'm talking about when I say that crazy laugh where he just throws his head back and just lets it roar, or, you know, just having those times, and I hope you all had a chance to experience some of that joy that we've had a chance to do. I know if you get a chance, corner me somewhere. I'll be happy to have a story and tell you a lot more. I wanted to kind of limit it